Hey guys, hi guys, I hope you guys are doing good. We are gonna be talking about um limits, introduction to calculus. So let me share my screen. So I have this. Yeah, so we're gonna be talking about just brief explanation on limits. So for limit, this is f of x is equals to p of x over q of x. So anytime we substitute x to a particular number, and if the answer is 0/0, it's called uncertainty, which means that limits may exist. Now let's move on to the first example. It says limit when x is what, half, and the equation is 4x squared minus 1 over 2x minus 1. If we put x is 1 over 2 into this equation, we get 0/0, right? That means we can be able to find the limit of this question. So 4x squared minus 1 is what? It's the difference of 2 squared. So you are basically having 2x minus 1, 2x plus 1 divided by 2x minus 1. 2x minus 1, 2x minus 1 cancels out, right? You delete it. Then you're left with 2x plus 1. You put x as 1 over 2 into 2x plus 1. So you are left with 2 times 1 over 2 plus 1, which gives you 2. Let's move to the next one. Limit when x is 5. So the denominator is what? It's an equation. So if you factorize it, you're gonna have 2x minus 1 and x plus 5. So x plus 5 cancels out. So you're left with limit of when x is equals to minus 5 of 1 over 2x minus 1. So when you factorize it, you get minus 1 over 11. Now let's find limits using conjugate. So for using conjugate, it means that you're going to multiply by the opposite number of the sign. So this question is what? Square root of x plus 4 minus 2 over x. If you are multiplying the conjugate, right? Because we have minus 2. So anytime you're multiplying the conjugate, you're going to change the sign. So you have square root of x plus 4 plus 2 over x times square root of x plus 4 plus 2. So when you do that, you're going to have 2x x square root of x plus 4 squared, these two, you're going to have that, and you have minus 2 times plus 2 gives you minus 4, right? Over x open bracket square root of x plus 4 plus 2. So once you do that right now, you know that now for the next one, it takes x plus 4 minus 4. How did you arrive at that? Square here cancels square root. So you have x plus 4 minus 4, which gives you x. 4 cancels 4, right? Over x open bracket x square root of x plus 4 plus 2. X cancels x, so you're left with 1 over square root of x plus 4 plus 2. You put x there. Anywhere you see x, you put 0. So you have 1 over square root of 0 plus 4, which is square root of 4, then gives you 2, right? So you have 1 over 2 plus 2, which gives you 1 over 4. And then the next one is so this question says when limit x is 8, x minus 8 over square root of 3x plus 1 minus 5. So if I put 8 into this equation, I get 0/0. That means what? I can solve this question, right? The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna multiply by the conjugate. So I'm gonna multiply by square root of 3x plus 1 plus 5 in both the numerator and the denominator, which was what we have here. Then so when you do that, right, you're gonna have x minus 8 then times square root of 3x plus 1 plus 5 over what you're gonna do is this 3x plus 1, you pick there are two 3x plus 1, right? You just pick one and square it. This is why you have 3x plus 1 square root of 3x plus 1 square minus 5 times 5 gives me 25, right? And minus times plus gives me minus. That's why I have minus 25 here, right? Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say limit when x is 8, you have x minus 8 open bracket square root of 3x plus 1 plus 5 over 3x plus 1 minus 25. Why do you have that? Because 2 cancels square root, right? So you have 3x plus 1 minus 25. Then 3x plus 1 minus 25 gives you what? 3x minus 24. Then you have the numerator as x minus 8 square root of times square root of 3x plus 1 plus 5. Then now we can try to simplify 3x minus 24. We can bring 3 out. Then you have 3 open bracket, what? X minus 8. So 3 open bracket x minus 8 is going to give me 3x minus 24, right? So x minus 8 cancels x minus 8. So I'm left with square root of 3x plus 1 plus 5 over 3. So anywhere I see x, I put in 8. So which is why I have square root of 3 times 8 plus 1 plus 5 over 3. So I have what? 3 times 8 is what? 24 plus 1, 25. Square root of 25 gives me 5, right? So 5 plus 5 is 10 over 3. And let's see if we can get other questions. Let's see other questions. So that's basically what you have to do anytime you have a limit question. And yeah, let's move in. Let's see. So limit also tells you that if the highest power in the numerator and denominator are the same, the limit is the ratio of the coefficients of the powers, right? So if the power of the numerator is lower than that of the denominator, the limit is equal to 0. And if the power of the numerator is higher than that of the denominator, the limit doesn't exist. So to find this limit, says t is infinity, then you have 2 plus t cubed over 5t cubed minus 2t squared. So anytime we have to solve this type of question, we must take note of the variable that has the highest power coefficient, right? So t raised to power 3 is the highest coefficient. So I divide both the numerator and denominator by 2 raised to power 3, which is why I have limit t goes in infinity. Then I have 2 over t raised to power 3 plus t raised to power 3 over 3 raised to power 3 gives me 1 because they both cancels out over 5t cubed over t cubed. T cubed cancel t cubed, we are left with 5. 2t squared over 2 t cubed. So 2t squared cancels 2 cubed, then you're left with 1t, right? So you have 5 minus 2t. So now you put in, anywhere you see t, you put in infinity. So that makes anywhere I put t as infinity 0. So which is why I have 0 plus 1 minus over 5 minus 0, which is what? 1 over 5. You do the same thing here. It says when limit as x is infinity, right? You have 2 minus 3x plus 4x squared over 4x cubed plus 3xy. I said it the other time. Anytime you have to find limit of this, you divide by the coefficient and by the coefficient which has the highest power, right? If you look at it, we have x squared, we have x cubed. That means we are both dividing the numerator and the denominator by x cubed. So which is why you have 2 over x cubed minus 3x over x cubed plus 4x squared minus over x cubed. So when it cancels out, you have 2 over x cubed minus 3 over x squared plus 4 over x divided by 4 plus 3 over x. So when you have what? You put in x as infinity, so you automatically have 0 at the numerator, then the denominator, you have 4. So 0 divided by 4 is equals to 0. And you do the same thing. Yeah, that's basically anything about you finding limits of when t is infinity. And yeah, let's talk about slope of tangent at a point. So this is the formula is when limit to what h goes to 0, you have f of x plus h minus f of x over h. Now let's look at this question real quick. So this question says y is equals to square root of 2 plus 3x. Now the formula is what? Y prime is equals to limit of h is equals to 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x over h. So what I'm going to do right now is this f of x, right, is what? Square root of 2 plus 3x, which is what I have here. Then f of x plus h. Now, this is f of x, right? So what I'm going to do is going to be square root of 2 plus 3, open bracket. So I replace this x with what? X plus h, which is what I have here, over h, right? So I'm going to multiply it by the conjugate, right? So I said something about the conjugate. You multiply by the opposite of the sign you have. So when I multiply it, I'm going to multiply both the numerator and the denominator by plus square root of 2 plus 3 open bracket x plus h plus 2 over 3x at both the numerator and the denominator, right? So once I do that, I'm gonna have limits of when h is 0, 2 plus 3 open bracket x plus h minus 2 plus 3xy, because cancels out, this cancels out because you're gonna have if you multiply this, so the square root cancels out, so you're left with just one of these, minus the same thing happens here, 2 plus 3x square root plus 2 plus 3x cancels out, the square root cancels out, so you're left with one of these, over h open bracket square root of 2 plus 3 open bracket x plus h plus square root of 2 plus 3x. Now, so what you're gonna do right now, you simplify what you have here. So you're gonna have 2 plus 3x plus 3h minus 2x minus 3x. So 2 cancels 2, 3x cancels 3x, then you're left with 3h, right? So you can say h open bracket 3. So h cancels what? The denominator here. So you're left with 3 open bracket square root of 2 plus 3 open bracket x plus h plus square root of 2 plus 3x. So you have the answer is what? 3 open bracket 2 square root of 2 plus 3x. Yeah, so that's basically anything. So anytime you have to find derivative of a given function, or all right, and you find out so when you impute the values, you're going to multiply by the conjugate. Don't forget about the conjugate. Conjugate means that you're going to multiply by the opposite of the you're going to multiply by the opposite of what you have, which means that if I have a minus here, I'm multiplying it by the plus of it. So if I have 2 plus x, right, and I want to multiply by the conjugate, so I'm going to say 2 plus x times open bracket 2 minus x over 2 minus x. So that is just like a case study on this. And yeah, thank you.